Hello everyone! Before starting this video, I want to thank you all for your sweet comments and for your hard work in the last few weeks. I really appreciate your efforts in spite of the current difficult situation. One important thing we're going to do before starting to study is checking our battery levels. It's really important to understand why we feel the way we feel and how are we actually feeling. For this reason, if you feel meh, struggling, or kind of empty, I recommend you to go and do something you love. Maybe you can watch a funny video, drink some tea, or eat a candy. And then once your energy is a little bit more charged, you come back and pay attention to the video. Something important to remind you is that you can pause and rewind as many times as you need to. And it's important that you take notes, have something where you can write whatever you find interesting. The objective for today is to review common mistakes in the worksheets 1 and 2. So let's begin. Our common mistake number 1 is about instructions. Sometimes you make mistakes just because you don't really understand the instructions and you don't do what I'm actually asking you to do. For this, it's important that you follow these 4 steps. The first one is to remember to read carefully what is asked in the instructions. Second one is to check the meaning of unknown words. The third tip I can give you is that you ask me. Send me a mail with consulta en el asunto and I will answer faster. And finally, after you understand fully what you need to do, you can start working. Our common mistake number 2 is the use of conditionals. Here we have like a table with some examples, the structure and the use. And I really suggest you to write it on your copybook, but we will see them separately. Here we have the first conditional. You didn't make that many mistakes in using conditionals. All of you kind of get the structure quite well, but many of you wanted to review these concepts in a video. So here we are. Remember that we use first conditional to talk about something that can happen in the future, something possible, a prediction that is likely to happen. Likely, recuerden que es probable, okay? And the structure is really simple. The condition will be in present simple, and the result, it's going to be in future, in this case, with will or want. Some things to remember about simple present is that you need to include the S at the end of the verbs when using the pronouns it, she, or he. Like in this example, if it rains, here we have an S. Remember also that to make negative sentences, we are going to use don't or doesn't. And to use the verb to be, we are going to use am, are, or is. All of these depending on the pronoun. The second part of our sentences will be the result, and we are going to use will. The verb with will must be infinitive, okay? You cannot add an S here or an ing or ed, nothing like that, or it will be incorrect. And the second thing that you need to remember about this part is that if you want to make negative sentences, you are going to use want. Here we have the second conditional, and the uses for second conditional are hypothetical or unlikely situations, something that is poco probable que pase, and something unreal. In your examples, that you were president of Chile was something unreal and unlikely to happen in the near future, right? And the structure, again, is quite simple. The condition goes this time in past simple, and the result of what would happen, lo que pasaría, it's going to be with would and the verb. Things to remember about past simple are the following. The first one is that we have two types of verbs, the irregular and the regulars. The regulars end up with ed. Todos los verbos regulares van a terminar con ed, right? Y los irregular, you need to check your list. To make negative sentences, we're going to use didn't and the verb in infinitive. El verbo, cuando ocupamos oraciones negativas, no va a ir en pasado, va a ir en infinitivo, because the past is indicated in the didn't, right? To use the verb to be, we're going to use was or were, depending again on the pronoun. And the part of would, the thing that you need to remember is that the verb is going to be in infinitive. Infinitive is just the verb. You don't have to add a to at the beginning, or as I said before, an s, an ed, or ing, nothing like that. And the negative form will be wouldn't. Here we have a few examples, and I want you to identify which one of these sentences uses first conditional and which use second conditional. You can mark them with a 1 or 2 accordingly, or you can choose the color and, I don't know, highlight them or something like that. And please pause the video while you do the activity. I'm going to let the examples here. I'm going to read them as you do the activity. If I were the president, I will make the test free. If I'm bored, I will watch a movie. If he were the Ministry of Education, he will give free computers and internet access. When I'm hungry, I will cook something healthy. All of these are taken from your own examples, so don't be surprised if you write something like that on our worksheets. Again, pause the video while you do the activity. I'm going to continue because I cannot wait for you. And here are the answers. With yellow, I have the second conditional sentences, and with light blue, I had the first conditional, second and first, okay? You need to check your answers, and if you had any problems or you want more practice, you can go to our first worksheet, the one la guía cero, that I sent a long time ago, and you can review that exercises, or you can also do the exercises in our PowerPoint presentations. I send the PowerPoints to some of you, but if you want them and you don't have them, I can send them to you. Just ask me and send me a mail. We continue with common mistake number 3. Easily confused words. Okay, here we have some examples of things that you wrote in your worksheets again, and I'm going to read them. If she is boring, she will watch a movie. If he is boredom, he will read a book. If they are bored, they will play a video game. Which one of these sentences do you think is correct? We have 3 different words to express the same meaning. Si ella, él o ellos están aburridos. How do we say that in English? Do you know which one we use and why? Probably you are kind of confused with this, and I'm going to continue. This one is the correct one. Okay, to understand this, it's really important to know some useful suffixes. We have dom, ing, and ed, right? Dom, first, what is a suffix? A suffix is a little, like 2 or 3 words that go at the end of the word, and they can change the meaning of the main word, right? So you add a few letters and the whole new word means something different. boredom is used to make nouns. Nouns are sustantivos, right? Sobre condition or state. Condición o el estado de algo. For example, boredom, freedom. Aburrimiento, libertad. And in our example here we have, to avoid boredom, you can find a new hobby, right? And then we have ed and ing, and both of them are used to talk about adjectives, okay? But ed is to describe emotions, and ing is to describe a characteristic of someone. Here we have bored, interested, or tired, and here we have interesting, boring, and tiring. The difference here is that ed is for something that is momentáneo, right? ing is for a characteristic, una característica. Algo que siempre va a ser así. Y ld va a ser para algo que en este momento es así, right? Entonces el ejemplo, I'm bored, estoy aburrido y no soy aburrido. Si yo dijera, I'm boring, estaría diciendo, soy aburrido. Y I am bored es estoy, en este instante, aburrido. Did you get the difference? Es lo mismo con bored, aburrido, interested, bored and boring. Both are aburrido, but estoy o soy. That's the difference. And then we have interested, que sería interesado, and interested, interesante. Tired, cansado, y tired, cansador, right? So that movie is boring. Is that it's not in that moment, is a characteristic of the movie, right? So it won't change in the future. To check your understanding, here we have a few, here we have a few examples and you need to choose the alternative. Once again, I'm going to ask you to pause the video while you do the activity. You just need to change the correct word. I'm going to read the examples. She's a big dog, but you don't need to be scaring or scared. The instructions were confusing, confused. I love my dance teacher. His lessons are never boring, bored. My battery lasts just a few hours, is so annoyed, annoying. I was disappointed or disappointing if I didn't get the job. I'm reading an interesting book. Once again, remember that the ing is for a characteristic, something permanent, and the ed is for something that you are feeling in that moment, okay? So take a minute to do these exercises, and I'm going to continue with the correct answers. I don't know what it appeared the first, this part, and then the other one, but it doesn't matter. Here we have the correct options. Again, here it's scared, because it's not that you are scaring, no es que tú eres como asustador, sino que en ese instante estás asustado y no necesitas estar asustado. Acá, de nuevo, the instructions were confusing, confused. La característica de las instrucciones es que son confusing. Las cosas en general no pueden estar confused. En general no vamos a ocupar los adjetivos con ed para cosas. Vamos a ocuparlo para características, right? Con ing. Acá, de nuevo, estamos hablando de las lecciones, las clases, y estas no pueden estar aburridas, sino que son aburridas, o en este caso, nunca son aburridas. Acá, de nuevo, el hecho de que mi batería dure tan poco, no es molesto, o sea, en este caso sí, es molesto, pero no me molesta a mí. No es que el hecho sea molesto. That was confusing, sorry. Aquí estamos hablando de el hecho de que la batería dure poco es molesto. No de que yo en este momento estoy molesto. Por eso está de hecho incluso el it, right? Here we have disappointed or disappointing. And again, como es una persona la que está hablando, en este momento está decepcionado. No es de que la persona sea decepcionante. Puede haber algún caso en que sea así la oración, pero it's not this one. And then we have, I'm reading an interesting book. Estamos hablando del book. So a characteristic of that book is that it's interesting, right? I hope that you got the idea. Okay, if you want more practice about this or about any other skill, first of all, that were the 3 main mistakes that I wanted to review with you today. And many of you want in your answers to include more practice about, I don't know, grammar, or more practice about listening skills or speaking skills. So I recommend you to go to this website. It will look something like that. And you can follow a course. For example, if you are pre-intermediate, intermediate, or more advanced, they have classes for all of that different levels. And we have different skills that you can work on. And the 4 skills of English that we work all the time: writing, listening, reading, or speaking. They have a grammar and vocabulary section. And it's really, I think it's a really easy page to follow. And if you want, you can send me whatever your work is and your progress. You can share that with me. And if you have any doubt or you need more information about a specific topic, I'm glad to help. Okay, so what I need you to do now is 3 things. The first one is to remember to read the instructions carefully, ask if you don't understand something, and finally, check your conditionals and your suffixes. It's really important that you check your conditionals and your suffixes before sending a work. Any type of work, not only the previous worksheets, but more works that you need to do in the future. Before we finish, I want you to take a minute to reflect about your learning. And I want you to think about these 3 questions. Where can you use what we learned today? How can you practice it? And how hard was understanding the video? Here we have easy, medium, or hard, so you can say how hard was it. And finally, thank you for watching and for your hard work. I know that you're trying to learn in spite of the situation that we live in, as I said at the beginning, and I really appreciate it. So thank you and goodbye.